huge contributions yesterday, but it was an RBI single and a game-saving defensive play from two veterans that secured the win. Today's main attraction, Stephen Strasburg, sporting the best ERA in baseball since May 1st. Another great day for the fans to watch the Nats go for a sweep.
Washington Nationals baseball. Washington Nationals baseball.
Hot day in D.C. Couple of teams heading in different directions. Padres can't wait to get home. They've lost 8 in a row. We have 3 and make it 4 All-Stars. Lee Kuntz, our head trainer, is going to New York as well. Congratulations to Jordan, Bryce, Davey, and Lee. Bob and FP, let's talk about some offense because you think offense is cool. If you can pitch and catch the ball, it helps the team get hot.
Well, yeah, as a former position player, of course I think offense is cool. But when you look at what the Nats have done here recently, the runs per game, 5.4, the average, 287, extra base hits, 44. Look at the record when they score 5 runs or more, 34 in Duke.
That is very, very impressive. And today, Stephen Strasburg on the mound. It's been kind of a crazy series for 2 of the big 3. Gio and Jordan really had to work long and hard against a feisty San Diego lineup. It's going to be a hot day for Strasburg, but he's been fantastic.
Well, we've been talking about the maturation process of Stephen Strasburg and how it's kind of developed throughout the course of the year. If you remember the start before this, against the Cubs, a Zimmerman error led to 4 runs. Well, the next start in San Diego on May 17th, Zimmerman made an error. Strasburg went over to him and said, I'll pick you up right here. That's what aces do. That's what good pitchers do. He buckled down, and we've seen the progress with Strasburg with the stuff. Yeah, everybody knows about that, but as far as dealing with a little bit of adversity behind him, we talk about when he's not starting on the bench, how he's a good teammate cheering everybody on, and it's been fun for me personally to watch this guy grow up on the mound, and, you know, he's been a little ornery lately out there, and we like what we see from the big right-hander, not just stuff-wise, but presence, body language, and demeanor on the mound.
Best ERA since the 1st of May. Right now, 3rd overall in the league, and he's tough to hit. Opponents only hitting .204 against him. Could Ryan Zimmerman hit Stephen Strasburg? I don't know, but he likes the other guys from San Diego. He has really worn out their pitching to the tune of .381. Ryan's batting average is up to .280 now. He's driven in 9 runs his last 11 games. Offense is cool, and the Nats are hot. you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Some cloud cover, keeping things livable here at the ballpark. It's going to be hot and muggy, though. And the Nats going for the sweep, some breezes blowing. And Strasburg on the mound. The train celebrating its 100th anniversary by offering irresistible financing. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. So it's 91. Feels like a lot hotter than that. Bit of a breeze to left center. Partly cloudy all afternoon. Maybe some relief because of that. Jesus Guzman, last 5 games, he is on fire. 9 for 18. The hitting streak is just 3 games, but he's 7 for 11, getting some extra base hits. And in this series, he's 4 for 8 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Alex Samarista in the lineup for the first time. And the leadoff man is an all-star, Cabrera, facing Steven Strasburg. 3rd career start against the Padres. He's 1-1 with a 3.75 against them.
I remember last time out, dominant with the curveball. Pitched 7 scoreless Tuesday against Milwaukee, but he got the no decision, gave up just 3 hits. Struck out 8 Brewers, walked 4, and Nats lost that game 4-0. He threw 105 pitches, 66 of those for strikes. So the defense today behind is Steven Strasburg. Harper, Spanworth, the outfield. Desmond Zimmerman on the left side. Rendon, Tyler Moore getting the start at first base, and Wilson Ramos behind the dish.
Back in the lineup, and Wilson Ramos is 5 out of 8 with 8 runs batted in since coming back off the disabled list. He'll handle Strasburg today, and right behind him will be a rookie umpire. Quinn Wolcott has the plate. David Rackley at first. Crew chief Tim Welke at second base, and Mike Everett back in the rotation. He's at third. Everett Cabrera hitting .295, named to the All-Star team, the only Padre. And we're underway at 136 on a foul ball off to the left. At least this time he didn't wait till 2 strikes to foul one off. That's a great-looking fastball. Padres have fallen 6.5 back of the Diamondbacks with these 8 consecutive losses on their road trip to Miami, Boston, and now Washington.
You lose 8 in a row, and you're only 6.5 out. I mean, if I'm Bud Black, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Got him. Right in there. A little breaking ball came from the side door area, and Steven Strasburg, who had such a good hook last time out, rings up number 1.
Well, 3-pitch C to start this one off, and a couple of good fastballs, a nasty hook, and thanks for coming. Quinn Wolcott ripped the pages there, didn't he? I kind of like that strike 3 call.
Will Venable next, then Carlos Quentin. Out of play left side. And the only reason the Padres are 6.5 back, the Diamondbacks have suddenly started winning. They've won 4 straight. Venables had good success against Steven, 3 for 7 career. So Strasburg tries to move him away.
Excuse me, Carp. Not real familiar with Quinn Wolcott, of course. His strike 3 call. But watch the strike 3 call right here. Great curveball, right? Watch the umpire. Rip the pages.
Wow.
I mean, that's powerful. That's Power Ranger stuff right there. He's a Blue Ranger. I'm not messing with him.
Look at holding the pose for a while, too.
A little flexing right there.
Wow.
I like it. Don't mess with him.
.96, a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nats are now 26-18 at home. And a winning record against the West at 12-11. Wow. Another hook, another seat for a San Diego hitter.
So that's how this one starts. A couple of Ks looking on a nasty curveball from Strasburg. He throws that pitch 21% of the time. Last time against the Brewers, one of the better curveballs we've seen. He threw it 36% last time. Kind of wore the curveball out. And you see to start this game out very early, still has the same feel he had 5 days ago.
Carlos Quentin taking his time getting in there. Erased part of the back line of the batter's box. Took some swings. Just now feeling his way in. And Strasburg's been standing and waiting for him for about 15 seconds. Quentin in this series, a homer, a couple of RBIs. He's 3 for 8. And a ball ripped left center. Over to cut it, Denard Span. 2-out single. That'll bring in Chase Headley here in the first.
I mean, every fifth day when Strasburg takes the mound, you're thinking, well, is this going to be the day when you see him throw a no-hitter? And I feel like it's only a matter of time before he does. But Carlos Quentin with a nice swing right there. Line drive single to left center. But the way he's been pitching lately, the groove he's been in, I was thinking it on the way to the park today.
Chase Headley, 3 for 8. Like Quentin with a homer and 2 RBIs in the series. That was Quentin's first career hit against Steven. Chase Headley's had 2 for 5. Late for that 93, and the count's even 1-1. Padres are 10th in the league in batting average, 6th in runs though, and 8th in home runs. They've hit 82. He has mastered the under 80 breaking ball so far.
And just throwing it for a strike, and now you might see him throw it for a ball. 1-2 count. You throw it in the zone to 3 consecutive hitters or 3 of the 4 hitters. You can go ahead and bounce that thing up there, and as a hitter, I have to commit once I see the rotation.
I thought Headley might step out. That was very little time between pitches. Strasburg really ready to roll right there. And that 4th pitch of this at bat was on its way quickly after the 3rd one. Short lead by Quentin at first. There it is. 80 and domination in the first inning despite the base hit. 3 Ks for Strasburg, 101 on the season. .40. It is on the rise. No doubt about that. Runs coming in bunches lately. Ian Desmond's right in the middle of the Mazda lineup. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Hitting behind Denard Span and ahead of Bryce Harper and Ryan Zimmerman. And as good as Ian has been over the last 9 games, and also now with a 7-game hitting streak, that number 2 spot could be the catbird seat in this lineup if Span keeps getting on. And pitchers are working off the stretch with thunder to come after Ian Desmond. This is Robbie Erlin, 22-year-old, born in Oakland, came from the Rangers in a trade, and it's his 4th major league start.
2nd on the road. Last start was his first big league loss Tuesday at Boston. Worked just 3 2/3. Allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. Walked 3 Red Sox through 93 pitches, 57 for strikes. Straight over the top fastball, likes to stay away early. And he is not afraid to challenge people with the heater.
Denard Span goes the other way. Ball spinning away from Carlos Quentin, who will retrieve it and return it quickly. And Denard Span is now 5 for 9 in this series.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. Very early in this one. And Denard Span letting that ball travel. And we were noting his swing yesterday, how he's letting the ball get deep, getting his hands inside the baseball, and going the other way. Was in pull mode for a couple of weeks. The average suffered. He made the adjustments, and now the average heading north in a hurry. Nice swing.
Well, here's what we talked about with Desmond. Good base runner on. A lot of room right side. Pitchers off the stretch to start the game. First pitch skips in the dirt, ball 1. So in this series, 3 for 8, a walk for Ian. Batting average at .284. Zimmerman's up to .280. Worth's up to .286.
I was going to say every pitch he sees today, vote Desi in 13, but I don't think that'll help him a whole lot getting the All-Star game.
That's a wild one. And Denard Span to second base with nobody out.
Might have been a changeup right there. Let's see. Yeah, just a changeup that squirted out of his hand. Good take by Desmond to get the count to 2-0.
Nick Cunley handling the catching duties today after young Mr. Grandal was hurt yesterday. You can vote for Ian Desmond until July 11th at 4 p.m. and do it at nationals.com/votes. You know Dodger fans are going to be busy, and some other teams as well.
Yeah, but this guy's a reigning all-star in the box right now. He was an all-star last year. That's got to count for something when you vote. Yeah, do you want to see Puig in the game? Of course, he's one of the most exciting players in baseball, but the guy in the batter's box right now is a reigning all-star. And that's 2 consecutive, or a year and a half at least, of all-star baseball for me and Desmond. That's got to count for something when you're voting on who makes the team and who doesn't. Plus, if you want to win the game.
Respectable 288 runners in scoring position, more than half of his RBIs. Denard Span's also scored 2 runs in this game, keeping that stat alive that when he scores, the Nats are usually winners. I think it's up to 9 games over 500 now when he scores a run. Slow breaking ball, productive out. Not a whole lot Ian could do with that pitch, and he did well to move Span to third base.
Well, that's some high fives when you get back to the dugout right there. Productive out for Ian Desmond. Moving the runner. Getting Span in scoring position with 1 out. Let's set the defense for the Padres. Quentin Venable blanks your Friars outfield. Cabrera Headley on the left side. Amarista Guzman on the right side. And Nick Hudley behind the plate.
Bryce Harper. Quite a day yesterday with 3 runs batted in. He's driven in 4 in this series with 2 sac flies, a walk, and a base hit.
And Bud Black choosing to keep his infield back, and that's the play in the first inning. Even if you are going up against Steven Strasburg.
Whistling fastball inside at 90, and Bryce took it 1-1.
It's a Bryce fan.
Braves underway at Philadelphia. Chris Medlin goes for them today. Bryce Harper jammed, and he pops it up over by the dugout, and just far enough to get in there. They have an AT&T fact of the game. Youngest with 2 All-Star selections. And Doc Gooden, Bob Feller, Bryce Harper, and Veda Pinson. Now, in 1959, there were 2 All-Star games in the same season. They did that back then. And the All-Star break was about a week long.
Butch Oil and Weiniger, 1977.
And Catfish Hunter with the Kansas City Athletics. Harper, base hit RBI. Being an all-star suits him. He's going to make a big turn and then go back, drawing a throw. And Bryce Harper has 5 RBIs in this series. 1-0 Washington.
Well, they're playing good baseball. It's that simple. Denard Span gets on, advances on the wild pitch. Ian Desmond with a great at-bat, a 2-strike count, moves Denard Span to third base. And Bryce Harper with another RBI, his 4th in the last 2 games. And he was thinking about 2. I just think the run till they tag you offense thought about 2. Just a hair late right there, but a nice swing by Harper. Puts the Nats on top, 1-0.
So the lefties are 2 for 2 opposite field. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan in this series a walk, 1 RBI, and he's 3 for 7. And Harper, what a jump, no throw. Bryce reading perfectly, and that'll be his 4th of the year in 6 attempts.
Well, there's a run to the tag you offense. We said it a lot last year that Bryce would just get bored with the base he was on, so he had to get to the next one in a couple of pitches. Good read right there, great jump, first move. Another national in scoring position here in the first.
A short attention span on the bases is good as long as you're a good reader.
Yeah. Be ADD base runner.
That one bounces, and Hundley smothered it 3-0. And the Nats have Robbie Erlin off to a shaky start here. They had to call up a backup catcher, by the way, Rene Rivera, who's been in the big leagues before with Seattle and Minnesota.
Might be swinging.
Phillies are running the first against Chris Medlin. 3-1 pitch to Ryan Zimmerman. And he got a piece of it, and the count's full with 1 out.
You can't hurt Quinn Walcott with a foul ball.
Well, Jason Worth's had a great series. He's 4 for 7 with a walk and an RBI. In the East, the Braves hammered the Phillies last night. Kyle Kendrick couldn't stop Atlanta, but the Nats still sit 5 back. Trying to put some distance between the ball club and that 500 mark. And a great time for it with this one today, and then 7 more before the break, 4 at Philadelphia, 3 at Miami.
Stay healthy, keep playing good baseball, good things are coming.
That is just to the left of the bag. Nats have this pitcher with a 17-pitch first inning already with 1 out. And Span set the tone. If you missed our opening segment,
it was amazing.
Yeah, our camera went okay, but this is the highlight right here. As far as Ryan, 381 against San Diego pitching. And Erlin throws the fastball by him. 2 outs. Bobby Erlin, first start. The first 3 starts, 13 strikeouts, 4 Ks coming into this one. And here comes hot-hitting Jason Worth.
Kind of delivery, the arm angle, the motion of Erlin. Not so much the stuff and the experience, obviously. Reminds you a little bit of a young Tom Glavine. This is a guy that in 5 minor league seasons threw 185 innings, walked just 72 hitters in 385 innings, had 422 strikeouts. So he's going to be around the plate. He throws strikes. He's not afraid to challenge guys, as you just saw with the fastball.
So Dominic Brown a triple, and now Delman Young a single, and the Phillies lead 2-0 over the Braves early. Jason Worth last 3 weeks hitting .366 and using the field in doing so. You know, he'll want to see a pitch or two from a guy for the first time. And talk about facing some lineups to start your career. He's faced Toronto, the Phillies, at Boston, and now at Washington. There's that changeup that went for a wild pitch when Desmond was batting. Able to grab that one. Nick Hundley counts even 1-1.
You see that, though, as a major league hitter. You totally disregard the changeup. He's got a slider that he throws 3% of the time. His curve is supposed to be his best secondary pitch, but right now Erlin doesn't have the changeup here in the first. It's a healthy rip.
1-2. Man, as I mentioned, this series 4 for 7. Go back to the fourth, he's 7 for 10. Jason saw something upstairs, straight back and went. So going back to Monday night, the Nationals were hitting .236 at the start of this homestand. It's hard to do at this stage of the season. They've added 4 points onto their team batting average to reach that .240 mark. Off speed, Worth. Little dribbler out to Alexi Amarista. The Nats will do damage in the bottom of the first with Span, a Desmond productive out, and a Harper RBI. A 3 strikeout, 1 single first inning. And now the second frame presented by Luna. Call for the Luna double today. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. It's nice in the shade. Offense is cool, and so are those seats. Do you get the feeling I'm picking up on your theme here?
Yeah. And not wearing it out at all.
Only 3 times before the second inning?
Make a play.
Jesus Guzman 4 for 8 with a homer and 3 RBIs in this series, facing Strasburg for the second time. Counts even 1-1. That ball ripped right center. Here comes Span, and he actually made it look fairly routine at the end. Such a great read. And you talk about that jab step all the time.
Well, a good first step. Again, a nice direct route by Denard Span. This should give you a great look at, just watch Denard. There's your first step, right to the baseball, direct line. But in my opinion, the best center fielders don't take extra base hits away. They take base hits away. And if you ask any pitcher, that's what they want.
Yeah, a pitcher will tell you, hey, if a guy hits one to the scoreboard, that's on me. Now this one's falling, and Denard's got to run a little farther than he thought. He saw that big swing by big, strong Kyle Blanks, and I think Denard's loose on a Sunday afternoon. No more stretching for him today.
A little flinch right there by Denard. He's showing Jason Worth what he did. Hey, big guys are up there like Kyle Blanks. They take a swing like this, you're thinking, oh, he got it. So just a little false step right there. And then on the rare occasion you don't get a good jump, makeup speed always helps.
Here's Nick Hundley. Came in yesterday after Yasmani Grandal suffered that sprained knee and went 2 for 3. Oh for 3 career against Steven Strasburg, who's making his 17th start of the year, the 62nd of his career. And the curveball a little bit low, 2-0. That hit him. Fastball up and in, a glancing blow to Nick Hundley.
It's kind of an overthrow right there, 93 miles an hour. Let's see where it got him. Right now bracing for impact right on the Padres logo. So two-seam fastball, lost his release point.
Hundley hit by a pitch for the 4th time this year. Strasburg hits a batter for the 7th time this season. And down to the number 8 spot with Alex Amarista, the second baseman. Saw some action from him in the series out in San Diego. He's only 23. They list him at 5'8", 152 from Barcelona, Venezuela. Got him in a trade with the Angels a year ago, May. And suddenly, as Strasburg falls behind 2-0 to another hitter, a quick visit from Wilson Ramos. Sometimes pitchers at field get those first 2 outs and they get in a bit of a hurry to end the inning.
He's kind of lost his mechanics here. Good trip right there by Wilson Ramos, slowing Strasburg down. We've noted his tempo today, faster than we've seen all season long. So maybe trying to work a little quick, but you like the idea of it on a hot day, keeping his defense off the field.
Now 3-0. And if he doesn't retire Amarista, that'll give the Padres a chance to turn their lineup over with Robbie Erlin, left-handed thrower, right-handed hitter, so he's wearing that elbow guard. Looked like he went full bore on that fastball. Didn't just flip it in there on 3-0. That ball drilled up the middle. Padres have their second base hit. Amarista, first career hit against Strasburg in 3 at-bats, and that was the first time we've seen him in the box in this series. So Robbie Erlin, in his first major league action, 0 for 4 as a hitter.
Yeah, teammates call Amarista the little ninja. And he got to a 3-1 count, line drive back up the middle. Good swing.
Behind again. Ramos keeps it close. No advancement possible by Hundley with the ball rolling on the third base side.
Such a movement on this two-seam fastball. 92 miles an hour. Probably ball two, but there's no way that Robbie Erlin could tell. Watch the tail right here at the end. Unbelievable.
Yeah, tough to catch. Strasburg gets a strike on the outside edge. And the count's 1-2. Nissan will track it.
Well, definitely a strike to Alexi Amarista. Robbie Erlin, I'm not sure. I thought it was down. Strasburg will take it.
Two and two. .94, and the count is full to the pitcher.
It just looks to me like Stevens a little bit quick out of the stretch. Not really coming set very long and falling off the backside right now. He's fighting just to slow things down.
That'll end the inning. First time through the order, the Padres go 2 for 8 with a hit batter. 1-0 Nats. By Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. And by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. And I can't believe these good folks are just walking by without jumping right in. Just south of the White House, south of the South Lawn there. Beautiful day. The Davey Johnson bobblehead is coming Saturday, July 20th, 2 weeks from now. Dodgers in right after the break. First 15,000 fans. It's presented by PNC Bank. And you must enter the center field gates to receive Davey that day. So while supplies last, some restrictions apply. Nationals.com/tickets.
That's the pose right there, isn't it? Left arm on the rail.
Yep.
If he'd had that jacket on, though, he might faint. 17th season as a manager.
Rendon, Moore, and Ramos. 23 pitches, 16 strikes in the first inning for Robbie Erlin. Anthony's batting average under 300 for the first time in a long time, but we're not worried. 41 hits, first 36 big league games. And the count's 0-2. Breaking ball chopped to third on the charge. Chase Headley, who won the Gold Glove over there last year. And now 3 in a row for Erlin since the Harper RBI hit. And a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one on a hot day, look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Nice crowd at the ballpark today. You look at all the levels, a lot of folks have moved back up under the shade. In the lower bowl, the mezzanine, and the upper deck under the roof. It's a good day to be a little bit cooler. 91 at game time.
Heat index, what is it, 172, 173?
Who's this guy that just stepped into the batter's box? We haven't seen much of Tyler since he came back from Syracuse. In that time, 7 at-bats, a homer in 3 games. You know, he's doing his work on the side and trying to stay sharp. Nothing like live pitching, and today he's in the same boat as his teammates, seeing a lefty for the first time in person. Target in. Way in. Wilson Ramos.
That's not where you want the curveball if you're Robbie Erlin. You got away with it right there in a 2-strike count. Get away with an occasional fastball up. He's got a short arm stroke, probably sneaky fast, but you never want your off speed letter high.
Breaking ball. Tyler waited for it and then popped it up right side. That's Alexi Amarista for the second out. He's an RBI machine, Wilson Ramos, since coming back.
There's been a shot in the arm to the offense. And a guy that from day one locked it in. 3 hits, a home run, 3 RBIs on that swing. 5 in the game, and then he came back the next day. First at-bat, RBI. So he's just been a hitting machine since he's been back. Can't stop the Buffalo.
Why did I know that shot was going to be at the end of those highlights?
It's a great shot.
So Wilson Ramos in this series, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, batting average over 300. 17 hits in 16 games, and I don't know, half of them doing plenty of damage. Two and 0. Hits it hard. Shortstop Everth Cabrera, and the All-Star throws out a Ramos. There's no snow cones in the glove in that inning, but plenty up on the concourse. Pick your flavor and mix them together.
I just want to slam my face into that.
Enjoying a great day at the ballpark. DentaQuest provides affordable dental coverage for priceless smiles.
And dances.
Yeah. Reminds you to ask your broker about DentaQuest. I think sedation dentistry may be in that gentleman's future. So we go to the top of the third, and it'll be Cabrera, Venable, and Quentin, as Steven Strasburg has thrown 33 pitches, 18 strikes. Your mission, our commitment. Visit agilitycorp.com. And pitchers in this organization all time with the league hitting so low against them.
Well, I witnessed every single one of those 1997 pitches from Pedro Martinez, and it was one of the most dominant years I had ever seen, even to this day. But you look at Strasburg, 204, Gio, 205. When you face the first three guys of this rotation in a 3-game series, good luck getting your knocks.
And with those three starting, Nats going for the sweep today. Here's Everth Cabrera. He fouled off the first pitch of the game, and then Steven locked him up and really struck him out on a nasty hook. Struck out the side in the first while giving up a single.
Dropping a changeup in there at 87. 1-0 changeup from Steven Strasburg.
And it makes the fastball look pretty quick at 95, and thus the hitter's late. He offered. Mike Everett says no swing, 2-2. Nice.
A swing by Cabrera, taking 95 on his hands and fighting it off the other way.
That is unhittable. 5 strikeouts in the first 10 batters. Mercedes-Benz will try to track it.
Now, I believe every single strikeout last time for Strasburg, 8 of them was on that pitch right there. The curveball last time out against the Brewers was great. And it's been great again here today.
Everth Cabrera, by the way, is 0 for 12 in this series. Here's Will Venable. First pitch breaking ball. And what Steven's done here with that devastating hook, I mean, guys will be hacking the first time they see anything they think is straight. Two 2-0. Ramos will visit Steven again.
Pretty good numbers, 3 for 8.
Mm-hmm. And 3-0. Things get a little tougher in a moment. Carlos Quentin has a base hit today, and then Chase Headley after him. That was a 95 to the outside edge.
One changeup of beauty, 87 miles an hour.
Looked just like the one before it, didn't it? Until it was too late.
And that's pitching right there, not just laying in a 3-1 fastball, and he is working some kind of fast. This is the fastest work rate I've seen from Strasburg yet. I mean, he's Jordan Zimmerman like so far? You look up, he's already got a sign.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. Hot day. 1:30 start today, 4 o'clock yesterday. Trying to minimize your time out there. And he's going to minimize a hitter. The first two batters, Cabrera and Venable, are 0 for 4, all punch-outs.
That's a great 3-0 comeback to a strikeout. Fall behind 3-0, paint on that pitch, then throw a 3-1 changeup to a 3-2 fastball, 96 on the black. And you just got Walcotted right there on the called third.
Carlos Quentin.
I mean, I'm going to go home and try that tonight after the game.
You still have Ed Montague's catching gear that you could put on to do that?
I don't. I had to give it back to him, but
okay.
That's my favorite called third strike of the year.
Carlos Quentin cracked one into left center when he was up there with the bases empty, 2 outs back in the first.
Tom Hallion would be proud of that called third. Enrico Palazzo would be proud of that called third. I am digging it.
I think Ron Luciano, too. Maybe the most animated umpire at the big league level ever. And a 1-1. Wow. Quentin didn't like the call, and he talks it over with Quinn Wolcott.
I don't think he thought it came down, but you look at pitch track, just caught the top right corner of the zone. And that was probably something like, this guy doesn't need any help right now.
On the appeal, David Rackley says no.
Let's check it out from the side one time. Good call.
Batter says, yeah, go ahead, appeal. That's fine. Wow, and then Strasburg hits Quentin. Second fastball of the day that's gotten away. That didn't feel good at all. Hundley in the second inning, sort of a glancing blow, and really Carlos Quentin had nowhere to go here.
Hey, just look at the changeup from Strasburg, but it's still 87, 88 miles an hour. Drills him on the inside of the left knee. Doesn't get out of the way and takes his base.
Headley goes up swinging, and a drive to right center. A lot of trouble. It's up against the wall. They've got a chance to get it back in. Quentin's coming. Here's the throw. It's on target, but it's high. And Ramos not able to pull it down from Anthony Rendon. Tie game.
Boy, wouldn't you know it, you just get drilled in the knee. The guy behind you hits one in the gap, and you got to score all the way from first base. Denard Span played this flawlessly off the wall. You look at the pitch, fastball down the middle. Headley all over it into the gap. Watch Denard on a hop, right to Rendon. He's got plenty of time. Quentin would have been out by about 4 steps right here, but he just got underneath the throw. Good effort by Ramos. That's not easy when you got a runner barreling down on you. Expose yourself jumping for a baseball like that.
So the 2-out hit batter last inning led to a long inning. Now this time it leads to a run. RBI double, third on the throw. And the first one's inside to Jesus Guzman, who lined out hard to Span first time up. Chase Headley just collected his 3rd RBI of this series. Pulls it. Zimmerman on the pick. Padres use a hit batter and a double to tie the game after 2.5. of offense lately. And it's time for the FCS Sideline Report, the Association for Global Security Professionals. You staying cool down there, Julie?
I'm trying, Bob. I am really trying. Kind of in a bit of a dead space as far as the airflow is concerned with the sun overhead. But hey, it's baseball. It's all good. It's the summer in D.C. I'm enjoying it. But the Nats have seemed to have found something in this new look lineup that Davey Johnson's been using over the course of the past 4 days, specifically when it comes to batters 1 through 6, using Desi in the 2-hole and Worth batting 6th. And I was talking to Ian about it, and he says that it seems like everyone is just getting more comfortable in general. He said the guys are settling into their spots, and of course it's great to have Harper back, great to have Wilson Ramos back. Ryan Zimmerman also acknowledging that there seems to be a bit of a different feel to this lineup. It's a lot deeper, and when facing opposing pitchers, he said, we're a tough lineup. There are no easy strikes. We take our walks. We've been seeing the ball big lately. Kurt Suzuki also agrees. He likes this lineup, and he says when everybody's healthy and we keep everyone out in the field, he said, we're going to produce. You just can't help it. This lineup is good.
As we mentioned, the team batting average on the rise. A run on 2 hits in the first inning today, and Strasburg will work the count to 2-2 here, leading off the third. Steven with the bat this year, 4 hits. 178 career batter. And a foul tip, and that got Nick Hundley.
I'll tell you what, Robbie Erlin is giving up 1 run on 2 hits going through the Nats order with basically a fastball. Hasn't really thrown his changeup even close. You see the ricochet off Hundley right on the kneecap. And the curveball, he's only thrown for a strike a couple of times. So right now doing it with 1 pitch.
Turning into a good at bat for his opponent leading off here. So it's a 6-pitch at bat so far. Make it 7.
The curveball just kind of rolling in there. There's not a lot of snap to it. A nice job so far of moving the fastball around, elevating when he needs to. But if you're a Nats hitter coming through your second time, you're all about dead red.
Went with the breaking ball. It's in the dirt. Ball 3. Denard Span, base hit to left first time. Scored a run when Harper drove him in. And Steven Strasburg draws a walk.
Great at bat. Gotta go back to the first inning. Denard Span starting this party up with a base hit to left field. Locking in that oppo swing. Bryce Harper getting this party started with the first run of the day. An RBI single to left. So Span, Harper, both lefties, both going the other way and having success their first time up.
Well, Bryce is almost to 30 RBIs. We'll see him in a moment. Here's Denard Span. He's going to lay down a bunt. And it forced Headley to go bare hand, so there was no chance for a throw to second. Interesting, you have the leadoff man sacrificing the pitcher ahead.
Well, I don't know if it was a sacrifice. It was more of a base hit bunt for Span. Watch how late he squares, and it's one of those deals where, you know, if you nail the bunt, you get a base hit. If you're a little off with the bunt, they scored a sacrifice. It's a good play for speed guys. Yeah, lay it down, and the worst thing it could be is a sacrifice.
Desmond and Harper now, 2 shots to put the Nats right back on top. And all week we've been talking about the answer up here. This half of the third would be the answer if they can get that run back. Productive out for Ian first time. Moving Span to third. He scored easily on the Harper single. He's looking to drive it this time. That's outside. It's a good athlete out there at second base. A lot of room left center. A lot of room left field corner. On an off-speed pitch, Desmond couldn't get to the breaker, and the count's even.
It's just batting fastball, got the curveball, but like I've said, Erlin hasn't really established any off-speed in the strike zone yet. As a hitter, it's almost an automatic take if you see any kind of rotation except for fastball.
As I mentioned a couple of times this weekend, next RBI will be number 50 for Desmond. Is that floating upstairs changeup again?
Boy, Nick Hundley insisting on calling that pitch. I don't know if Erlin's shaking him off to get to that changeup, but he hasn't been close yet, really. It's basically been a pitch out for him.
Ian had a big time rip at 90 there. No, they had a nice video on the board here in between innings about voting for Ian Desmond. Nationals.com/vote. You can text N1 to 89269. That's the letter N-1, the O-N-E. And here is a BB, a base on balls. Ian Desmond's patience lately has been interesting. Walks for the 21st time this year. Let's compare the shortstops. Cabrera's the only Padre, so, somebody from their team has to go. Gomez joins Segura on the squad from Milwaukee, but FP, interesting comparison numbers.
Yeah, I think you have to take somebody from the two teams on the right. So obviously those are the guys with the best numbers, and it kind of filters out Ian Desmond. I just think Bruce Bochy's got to go to Desmond if Troy Tulowitzki's not healthy, doesn't he?
And we're told that Tulowitzki could return in the next week or so and be ready. We'll see. Great approach, great at bat by Bryce Harper first time. And having a big time RBI weekend. He's driven in 5 in this series.
But even that walk by Desmond is what I was talking about yesterday. A month ago, that was, I'm getting the job done because I'm not sure the guy behind me can. And you force the issue in those at-bats and try too hard. But now the lineup's back together. You take your walk and keep the line moving because you have confidence in the guy behind you. And even Ian Desmond hitting second versus 6th knows that the heart of the order's behind him.
Mm-hmm. Rice takes it low and inside, 2-1. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, Jonathan Pettibone has shut down the Braves through 4. Phillies lead there 2-0.
He's everywhere.
Harper rips it. Backhand stop. Guzman can't corral it. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Boy, the only thing wrong with that swing is he didn't elevate it because he got all of that ground ball to first base. Don't think you can hit a ball on the ground any harder than that. We'll see how they score it. Not a routine play when it comes off the bat this hot. And Guzman, let's check it out, goes to the backhand right here. And you think he's got it? Squirts loose. And Bryce Harper hustling all the way. And we are waiting for the official scoring. And you know how I roll up here. That's a hit all the way.
Yeah, and they agree. The longer that went, the more nervous you got. And Bryce is 2 for 2. Ryan Zimmerman, 9 batted in just over 11 games lately. And he hits one high in the air to right center. Heading for the scoreboard. Grand slam! Number 4 of his career. It's 5-1 Washington.
Things are changing.
Adam Moreau says, thanks for making my off day a happy one.
They want Zim on the top step, and Jason Worth is stepping out.
That's about as much as you'll get from Gentleman Zim.
Things are definitely changing.
Ryan Zimmerman has 49 RBIs, and Worth goes up hacking. That's Ryan's 10th homer of the year, and he's finally hit 2 here.
And we've been saying that the off speed hasn't been there from Erlin, so as a hitter, you're just all about the fastball. And Ryan gets a first pitch fastball, rides it out of here the other way. And offense is cool. And see it one more time. Watch it from behind Ryan, and that's the runway when it's warm here. And as soon as he hit it, he knew it. He just watched it. Jogged to first base. You see the reaction, a little curtain call for number 11.
Now Zimmerman has a 5 RBI series. Worth will hit one hard to left. He will make the turn and come back, and there's a phone about to ring in left field.
The line is moving.
2 walks in this inning, 3 consecutive hits. Next up is Anthony Rendon. It's their pitching coach, Darren Balsley. By the way, Zimmerman's grand slam, the Nationals' 80th homer of the year.
Well, same seats, everybody at home. Don't move. Line's moving.
.24 pitches and 1 out, and that was a bunt. 7th man to bat, Anthony Rendon.
And that's 34-2, and they scored 5 runs or more.
Target in. Rendon, inside out swing. Heading for that wedge section of seats right down there in the short corner. Nice play, mister, and he gives the ball to the young man.
So big to put up a 4 spot. You talked about it. We've been talking about answering the other squad's runs in your half of the inning. The Padres throw up a candlestick. And that's come back with 4 and counting. You lose 8 in a row and you see a 4 spot up there, it is hard if you're a Padre. Everybody in the gray uniform thinking, here we go again. Been there. It's not a good feeling.
Buddy Black, man, these guys cannot wait to get home. They've got the Rockies on their homestand. They are 0-8 on this trip. Good idea, the breaking ball by Rendon.
And on the other side of that carpet, you look at the shots of the Nationals dugout right now. They're having fun again. It's baseball. They're just playing the game. They're not thinking about expectations or what other people want us to be. They're just playing the game, plain and simple, the way it's supposed to be played. And for the first time all year on a consistent basis, they're having fun.
Rendon to left field. See you later. Deep into the bullpen. It's 7-1. Told you we weren't worried about him with his average of .299.
And there's energy, there's smiles. This is such a talented bunch. It's finally putting it together.
Here's Tyler Moore, and don't throw him a first pitch fastball. At least not down the middle. He was ripping.
And this is not a cheapie, folks. Look at the hands going back. The stride leg foot down early. The extension and the throw of the barrel. Squaring that up perfectly. Sneaky pop for the Nats second baseman.
What a sound. A 6-run inning. Still only 1 out. Tyler Moore, the 8th Nat to bat. And still nobody throwing in the San Diego bullpen. They actually won the first game of this trip in a 4-game series at Miami. Lost the next 3, swept in Boston, lost the first 2 here. Good take by Tyler on a 1-2 pitch. And now action getting underway out in the Padres bullpen. It looks like Tyson Ross. Tyler Moore hits it hard. Deep short. Cabrera from left field. A bouncer. And Guzman picks it. These guys are tough outs. Ninth man to bat in the inning, Wilson Ramos. Steven Strasburg started this with a really good at bat for a walk. And then the great thing about this being a long inning, after being out there around the bases for a while, he got to trot home on the Zimmerman grand slam and then take a pretty lengthy breather here to cool down.
Key at bat of the inning, though, was Ian Desmond taking the walk with first base open and Bryce Harper on deck. Didn't try to force anything. Take what the game gives you. Keep the line moving.
And Wilson takes it upstairs, 2-1. Well, they now have Robbie Erlin at 73 pitches in the 3rd inning.
You have to have secondary pitches at the highest level. And maybe Erlin does, and he just doesn't have it here today. But if it's all you have is a fastball for a strike, especially against a hot hitting ball club, it's going to be a rough day.
Six and 2/3 against the Blue Jays. 6 1/3 against the Phillies. 3 2/3 at Boston. And pounded in 3 innings here today. Ramos strikes out, but the Nats pick up 6. Strasburg and Desmond walks. Harper a base hit. Zimmerman brings everybody around to make it 5-1. A Worth hit, and then Anthony Rendon with his 3rd big league homer. The Nats 7-1.
7-1 as we go to the top of the fourth. And let's check out little Steven Strasburg. He did a nice job today. And when he came out of the gate and struck out the first 2 hitters, you're thinking this could be one of those days. The curveball picking up right where it left off against Milwaukee. It's pretty much been the out pitch for Strasburg the last 2 outings for sure. Then throwing the changeup in the locations he wants today. So all 4 pitches for strikes, 2-seam, 4-seam curve change for Strasburg today, making it rough on the Padres.
6 Ks times his uniform number for dollars. 2. Children and their families at the Children's Inn National Institutes of Health. And that's our Toyota case for kids, thanks to the generosity of our D.C. area Toyota dealers. 54 pitches, 30 strikes. 6, 7, 8 for the Padres in the fourth. It'll be Blanks, Hundley, and Amarista. Now, while the Nats were getting 6, the Phillies were getting 2 more. Ben Revere with a triple in the bottom of the fourth drove in 2, and the Phillies lead the Braves and Chris Medlin 4-0.
What's the Braves' magic number?
182.
All right.
Out to center. Denard Span tracking it. And then backing right into that one. Run support. 5th lowest coming into today. And they've more than doubled that usual total. Nick Hundley hit by a pitch on a 2-0 delivery 2 innings ago. It's a breaking ball that stays up and in. Counts even 1-1. And as Strasburg was ready to pitch, Hundley stepped out. Talked about his work rate. He's been quick today. That is some hook. Kinetic North America tracking it.
Well, today more than his last start, he's been throwing it for a strike.
And a fastball up and in.
Last start it was more of the wicked variety where he's really spinning it up there. It's hard to sit around as a hitter and figure out if it's going to be a strike or not. He had guys check swinging, committing early to it. Today's been flipping it in there to steal a strike consistently.
That one was up. It is rammed into left, and it is hooking. Nick Hundley got a big piece of that one. Couldn't keep it fair. He's hit 5 home runs this year. Just a loud foul, and the count stays 2-2. Number 8 hitter Alex Amarista is next. .97 off the plate with very little reaction time. A take by Hundley. And Strasburg walks him. First walk of the day to go with a couple of hit batters. Hundley on for the second time. The midseason flex pack still with us. Pick 3 games. Get a free New Era ball cap from the Nationals at nationals.com/flex. Some restrictions apply, and that's while supplies last. Amarista, base hit up the middle last time after Hundley had been hit by a pitch. And a ball ripped to right. High in the air, right down the line, and gone. Second deck for Alexi Amarista, his 5th of the year.
I didn't know he had that kind of pop.
Yeah, there's your guy who's 5'8", 152, huh?
A little ninja strikes here in the 4th. 5th home run of the year and an upper tank job over the Nats bullpen. Kinetic North America on the pitch track, fastball on the inner half. And the little guy got all of this. He's a guy that never gets cheated up there, but I didn't know he had upper deck pop. Look where that landed.
That's now 7-3. Robbie Erlin stays in the ball game, and he'll be hitting here. Struck out first time. He's 0 for 5 as a big league hitter.
That's the first time I can remember Strasburg with a big lead like this all season long, and maybe in uncharted waters. It's not so much the homer to Amarista. You can throw a ball down the middle when you're Strasburg. It's going to happen to power guys all the time. You're going to give up your taters. It's the walk in front of them to Nick Hundley. You have a lead. The last thing you can do as a pitcher is put guys on for free.
High riding fastball for the strikeout. Number 7. 2 outs here in the 4th. That'll bring in the top of the order with Everth Cabrera. Fans thankful for some cloud cover on a day like this. Well, here we go, 3rd time around.
And 3rd time's usually when he gets in that rhythm, that flow.
And a bouncer, Desmond, to his left from right behind the bag. Little flip to Tyler Moore. Strasburg, a walk and a homer, still a healthy lead.
Visit Cox.com to learn about Cox Advanced TV Plus. 7-3 home team. And it's been on the 6-run third inning. There's a couple of home runs in that inning. The first one, the big blow by Ryan Zimmerman. First pitch fastball, supposed to be on the outer half, kind of cut back across the plate. He was all over it, rode it out of here for a grand salami. And that guy's pumped that he caught the ball. And then Anthony Rendon gets another elevated fastball for his third home run of the year. And no cheapies hit here today. Amarista with the upper deck shot to make this 7-3 in the top of the fourth.
Strasburg, Span, Desmond. And a check swing and a foul off to the right side. Stevens' walk key to starting that 6-run third inning.
Kind of like what Bud Black's doing with his young left-hander. He's given up 7 runs, but you know, when you have young guys coming up, part of the process is developing them and showing them how to fight, how to battle, how to stay in a ball game, how to keep your ball club in a game. And as a manager, if you just run out there and take out a young kid every time he struggles, he's never learning how to deal with adversity.
I don't like to see anybody making out, but that's a pitcher who needed to get back in the dugout and get a breather right there. Now we'll see if Span and Desmond, maybe Harper, can make this inning last a while. Denard has had a good day, base hit the other way. And as FP noted, probably bunting for a hit, but he got a sacrifice. Next time up. Counts even, 1-1.
Now, Bud Black is basically telling Robbie Erlin that we have plans for you, because if he didn't, he'd be out of this game. Trying to teach him how to pitch when maybe you don't have your ace stuff, and how you get through an outing like that so it helps you out down the way. I like it.
Well, I'm sure Buddy went through some of that as a young pitcher before his outstanding career. Way inside the Span, 3-1. Key walk by Ian Desmond last time up. And Span gets under one out to center. Will Venable. You have the final say. Vote for Ian Desmond as the last man in voted in the National League All-Star scenario. You can go to nationals.com/vote or text N-ONE to 89269. Message and data rates may apply. Unlimited voting ends at 4 p.m. Thursday, July 11th.
I think the stash is worth 100,000 votes at least.
Okay, my copy said N-O-N-E. That graphic said N, the number 1. So we'll go with the graphic.
You lost me at the start of the promo. Desi in 13 with the hashtag.
I'll sort it out by the next time we do that.
All right.
Which should be shortly. Desmond with a big rip on 2-0. Braves picked up 1 run before going out in the top of the 5th at Philadelphia. So the Phils lead 4-1 halfway through that one. Ian Desmond, another swing, a big time swing on a 2-1 pitch. Trying to get aboard and keep this inning alive for Bryce Harper, who's having a big RBI weekend, along with Ryan Zimmerman, Wilson Ramos, and now Anthony Rendon.
That's an impressive stat on a 2-2 count. 340, 4 home runs. It's not a good hitter's count. Well, you know you're getting a heater right here, 3-2. Hasn't established a changeup. Just threw a curveball for a ball.
And Desmond jammed on that one. High in the air right side. And Marista, ball twisting back on him. And the Nats go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fourth. Steven Strasburg back to work. We recognize our wounded warriors and honor them every day. It's our DynCorp International Troop Recognition at DynCorp. We serve today for a better tomorrow. 7-3 ball game. Long way to go. Top of the fifth arrives. Steven Strasburg is at 72 pitches, 40 strikes. On to Philadelphia. John Lennon, Dan Herron scheduled tomorrow night. Taylor Jordan, Cole Hamels Tuesday. Gio and Cliff Lee, how about those lefties, Wednesday? And then Jordan Zimmerman, Kyle Kendrick Thursday. Steven Strasburg's next turn would be Friday night in Miami when the Nats go there for 3.
Yeah, Ross Detweiler on the DL. Taylor Jordan going to stay in the rotation.
One ball, one strike to Will Venable. '80. Diving. 1-2. Enough to make a hitter shake his head a little bit. And he brings the heat. Right side Rendon. I'll tell you one thing Strasburg's done. He shut down the top of their order. In this series, Cabrera is 0 for 13. Will Venable is 0 for 7. And a combined 0 for 6 today. So no table setting as a rule for the Padres this weekend.
Well, it's admirable that Everth Cabrera came off the disabled list to try to help his ball club that was struggling. But it's a tough staff to come off the DL too.
Yeah,
how about facing that? Gonzalez, Zimmerman, and Strasburg.
Yeah, welcome back. We might disable your bat.
Well, just your timing's not right when you come off the DL, and those are 3 guys, 3 power guys, where it's tough to get that timing back against.
Carlos Quentin, a base hit and hit by a pitch. Nissan will track this buckling breaker. Well, Ramos even had to dip the mitt to catch it. Nice. 97 down and away from the right-handed batter, and that's strikeout number 8.
Yeah, with a little reach back right there. 97's been sitting at 93 to 95. Gets into a 2-strike count. And look at the release point, the grip. I just love that Exmo. Check that out. 97 on the black. Not a whole lot anybody can do with that pitch. Care who you are.
Chase Headley, 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Suddenly, here come the strikes. Just can't get that 1-2-3 inning, though. And Chase Headley's 2 for 3, and he's had 5 hits in this series. So he might be turning a disappointing season around. For the Achiever in You, PNC with our minor league report, and we check in on Christian Garcia, one of our favorite young men in this organization. He's had Tommy John surgery twice, 06 and 2010. Trying to make his comeback in 9 games. Look, nobody's hitting him much at Syracuse at all.
Nobody hit him much in the big leagues at all last year.
Spent a lot of time down in Vieira, extended spring, and back throwing competitively and at a pretty high level right now. Good for him. Jesus Guzman is lined to center, bounced to third. Now he's singled to left. It's been a crazy game for Steven Strasburg once he gets 2 outs in an inning. First inning, first 2 guys. Same in the second, in the third. Got the first batter in the fourth, and the first 2 here in the fifth. Padres have not let him get that quick 1-2-3. So that'll bring in Kyle Blanks, who has flied to center twice. It's a big man with a lot of pop.
I just think with Strasburg, strike one more important than most pitchers because it allows him to get to everything else. Then you're defensive. I mean, that's not a normal 0-1 hack right there by Kyle Blanks. But if he paints himself into a corner 1-0, 2-0, now you can throw an off-speed pitch, but as a hitter, you're just betting on fastball. But once he throws you strike one with whatever pitch, now you're on your heels, you're defensive, you don't know what's coming, whether it's a curve change or a heater.
And the 0-2 got him. 79 straight down. That was a big strikeout. Tying run was in the on-deck circle. We're going to the bottom of the fifth. Phillies, by the way, lead 5-1. The Nats 7-3. Nothing turns the ball game around quicker than the home run ball. Guys on base, big men driving in runs. They've done it today. And the Nats win 2 out of 3 when they hit a home run this season. 2 more today. 81 on the year. It's only a matter of time before Bryce Harper hits his next one. Zimmerman, the big day, the big blow, waiting. And the bottom of the 5th underway. Bryce today 2 for 2. In the series 3 for 6. 5 RBIs and a walk. Robbie Erlin due to bat 3rd in the top of the 6th, so this could be it for him. And as if on cue, the Padre bullpen comes to life. They had Tyson Ross throwing earlier, and he's back up. Bryce taking on 3-0.
Probably going to get a fastball right here.
He's been on base 4 of his last 5 plate appearances. The only thing that interrupted that, a sac fly yesterday. He's on again. Nats have made Robbie Erlin pay for his walks. Both of them have scored. And it'll be Ryan Zimmerman. 1 at bat after he did the ultimate last time up.
And numbers starting to get to where they usually are for Ryan Zimmerman. 10 home runs, 49 RBIs, average at 280.
He's now driven in 13 runs in his last 11 and a half games. Co-leader on the club in RBIs with 49 with Ian Desmond.
Well, I think it's kind of a combo platter with Bud Black. His bullpen's been beat up this road trip, but he's still trying to see what he's got out here in this left-hander. I thought the righty would be ready to face Ryan Zimmerman after the grand slam.
Harper, great jump. Rips another bag. 2 today, 5 on the year. Now that the Nats are getting hits and putting pressure on opposing defenses, they're starting to become a better running team in terms of stealing.
Yeah, run till they tag you at part 2. Stole a base his first time up after the RBI single. And the knee has been looking good with all the slides.
Yep.
The dive and play yesterday, he's thinking about stealing 3rd.
And he was safe even without the Cabrera drop there. Zimmerman looks at a breaking ball that drops in. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, we talked about he's gone 92, 98, 93. His first 3 big league starts. And with nobody out in the 5th inning, flirting with 100. No swing. David Rackley.
Not paying a whole lot of attention to Bryce Harper up the middle infielders, Cabrera and Amarista. Just kind of a little token glove tap, and he's getting a pretty good primary lead. There's not a lot of interest in him right now.
Really hopped off to a big secondary lead there.
Yeah, it's all about rhythm once you get into that primary lead, stealing 3rd. And if you could take that jab step toward 3rd as the pitcher picks up his foot and you keep going, But like I said the other day, you're really relying on Trent Jewett right here to yell back or you're okay. Because you can't see the shortstop behind you. You kind of feel him at times, but
Ryan, good job of staying with a diving breaking ball. First week of this month. Nice. Another offer on a pitch outside. Well, Jason Worth's been in on the offense again today with his 1 for 2. He's 5 for 9 in this series. He singled right after the Zimmerman grand slam that set up the Rendon homer. Which right now is a big play in the game because the Padres picked up those 2 runs. Way inside, and Ryan Zimmerman works the count full.
No, you would think this is the last pitch of the day for Robbie Erlin. Bullpen hot. Worth on deck. Get that right-on-right matchup. Pitch number 104 coming.
Great at bat by Zimmerman. Ball gets away. Harper to third. I mean, he was halfway there. And on 2 walks around to steal, it's a first and third with nobody out.
I mean, he's been working hard trying to get a jump at second the whole time. You don't want to make the first out at third. And if you remember earlier in the season, Bryce got thrown out stealing third with Ryan up, and Davey Johnson wasn't too happy about it. But watch the read right here and look at the big secondary. As soon as the ball goes in the dirt, you take off, and you're basically halfway there because you're working hard on your secondary lead. Once again, good baseball from the Nationals offense.
Well, Buddy Black has to go to the bullpen. This one about to get out of hand for his ball club. Tyson Ross will get the call here. And it's only the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 on, nobody out. This call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store. We love logistics. Demolition derbies the other night.
Yeah.
There goes one.
It's violent.
There goes two.
It's violent.
You can tell Bill has Abe in his sights, and he's about to do a face plant.
It's violent.
And then Teddy takes out Bill, but he stumbled himself. And George last the entire race. Takes home the cherry pie.
I just didn't see that coming at all. Check out the shirt. What does it say? I think it said vote Desi. Or vote for Desmond or vote for Pedro or something like that.
Pedro Siriaco is in to play second base, and the Padres moving some other guys around. Could get caught up. Alex Amarista goes from second base to center. And Will Venable is in right field. So Kyle Blanks is out on a double switch that sort of turns into a quadruple one. And the pitcher will be Tyson Ross, 26 years of age. And he was with Oakland the last 3 years. 18 games, 13 starts for the A's last season.
Yeah, fastball, slider, occasional cutter, occasional change. Fastball, slider is two main pitches, and a fastball averaging 94 miles an hour.
First and third, nobody out. Jason Worth. That ball boring down and in on him. There are some Nats who have faced Tyson Ross. Jason Worth, it'll be his first look at him. And he can't reach that one away.
They're not betting on the 2-1 slider from Ross, sitting on the fastball, got the off speed.
Well, Anthony Rendon flashing some real power last time up. Long home run to the back of the bullpen, left field. And a 2-2 with Zimmerman running. Ball three. Throw is high. Zimmerman swipes it. Harper scores. Zimmerman to third on a high throw by Nick Hundley. And the Nationals lead 8-3.
Yeah, just digging the run till they tag you offense today once again. I mean, making things happen, forcing the issue, and a 4-1 cushion will allow you to be a little bit more liberal with your decisions on offense. And Davey Johnson, Trent Jewett, giving Ryan Zimmerman the steal sign. Throw goes into center field. Tough pitch to handle for Nick Hundley. I don't know if he got a grip on that, but Siriaco just in the game has to catch that baseball. That wasn't that bad a throw.
Worth will walk. This is crazy. In this inning, a run has scored. A runner's at third. Now another man at first. And nobody has made contact with the baseball yet. But this man did last time.
Yeah, third inning. Fastball up. I just watched that swing all day. Beautiful mechanics, caught her out front. Handshakes, high fives, high tens, helmet taker offer guy. Everybody happy in the first base dugout.
3 for Anthony, 81 for the Nats, and every time they hit one, $250 to the Children's National Medical Center from Lexus. And our D.C. area Lexus dealers, Lexus is the pursuit of perfection.
Line.
3 walks in the inning, 2 steals, an error.
Yeah, line's moving.
Can you score 4 or 5 runs without hitting the ball? Somebody's going to make contact
Well,
here.
I've been trying to say that all year.
There's contact. A 3 RBI day for Anthony Rendon, and now it's 9-3.
More high fives. Why not? Yeah, watch this approach. So last time you go pull side home run, this time get your hands inside. Oh, just leave it right there. I mean, you can pause that on contact all day long. And the hole created by Worth, used by Rendon. Lousy single, lousy RBI.
Nobody out in the inning. By the way, that Ryan Zimmerman walk was a 9-pitch at bat. Zimmerman, by the way, 5 for 5 stealing this year. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyler Moore. Facing Tyson Ross for the first time. Look at that, 4 times in 80 games the Nats score 8 or more. Now they've done it 5 times in the last 8.
Well, he's got his lineup back. It's not really any more difficult than that. You can sit there and break it down any way you want with all kinds of different numbers, but when we said every single day Davey Johnson hasn't had his starting lineup since April 14th, it's a huge deal.
Hard hit, shortstop, booted, Cabrera. Everybody is safe. They are putting a lot of pressure on the San Diego defense here.
Tyler Moore's hit the ball hard last 2 times up. He hit a bullet to Cabrera last time for an out. And I don't know if they're going to give that a hit. If it was up to me, I'd go Little League mom right here and give this a hit all the way. But I don't think in the big leagues, when you have an all-star shortstop, that play's got to be made. But if your mom's keeping the scorebook and that's you hitting, she'll give you a hit on that, wouldn't she? I know my mom would. My mom had games where she'd tell the whole team, if you reach first base, everybody, it's a hit. I don't even care if it's a walk. We're giving you a hit.
Okay.
Yeah, make you feel good.
So that's why hitting's contagious. It started with Little League moms. I like it. Wilson Ramos, a ground ball and a strikeout today. And Tyson Ross keeping the ball low and away to him. First matchup between these two. Counts 0-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Our base running bunch, Worth walked. Rendon clean single. Moore reaching on the error. Everth Cabrera's 4th of the year. Ramos got a piece of the ball, and it got Nick Hundley. That's how strong that man is. I mean, totally extended and reaching. And he got the sweet part of the bat out to that outside pitch. Almost threw it away, did Ross, and a save by Hundley.
He fouls that one off. We got a story.
Ramos reaches for that one. Padres trying to turn 2. They'll go 5-4-3. Good pick on the back end by Guzman, but another run scores, and the Nats lead 10-3. Steven Strasburg will bat for the 3rd time, and he didn't get his first debut until the 3rd inning. He has walked and struck out. Rendon over to 3rd on that ground ball. Strasburg's going to drive him in.
Why not?
It's 11-3 on Stevens' first RBI of the year. And the 9th of his career.
Putting on a show for the folks at home in San Diego. Yeah, just another base hit. Strasburg doing what he does best. He likes to go the other way. Hands inside the ball, head down. Bullet to right field. Scores Rendon to make it 11-3 Nationals.
9 batters in the 3rd, and now at least 8 here in the 5th. They're going up hacking.
56 runs in the last 8 games. Offensive machine. And we talked about it, Carp, yesterday in the Open, the schedule and taking care of business against teams you need to take care of business against. Yeah, you get right against the teams that are struggling. And nobody feeling sorry for the Padres right now. It's the major leagues. That's the way it goes. Every team goes through a scuffle. But when you face teams that are going through a scuffle, you don't want to let them think they have a chance. You take advantage of opportunity, and you get your own confidence up as a ball club, whether it be on offense or pitching or wherever. And you take that swagger and that confidence and build upon it when you play the good teams. I say the Padres aren't good. They're just not good right now. They still have a chance in that division. It's anybody's division. Although the Dodgers look like the team to beat.
Yeah, they're tied with the Rockies, 4.5 back. Diamondbacks have won 4 straight. Giants 5.5, Padres 6.5. And having a headache in D.C. today. 2-1 pitch, Span right over the mound. Look at this placement. Another hit for the Nats, and Denard Span is 2 for 3. And for the 2nd time today, they will bat the entire lineup in 1 inning as Desmond walks up.
And we talked about yesterday when Adam LaRoche hit that ground ball to first base. It had the funny spin on it, how maybe everybody in the first base dugout in the red uni said things are starting to go our way, and you start seeing little things like a perfectly placed ground ball up the middle. When you're swinging the bats, everything drops. When you're not, everyone's making great plays against you, and it's like there's 15 fielders out there.
Desmond 0 for 2 with a walk. Nationals.com/vote or text N1 to 89269. Three walks in the inning, 2 errors. .97 right there from Ross. Chopper left side on the charge. Headley. Wow, pretty good play by Jesus Guzman at the other end. The Nats strike for 4 more. It's 11-3. Wearing number 13. Didn't take long for this to show up at Nationals Park. Hello again, everybody.
Yeah, vote for Desi in 13. Yeah, you know what? You can start making 14s and 15s because the way this guy plays, he's going to be around for a while. And we talked about it last year. If he had stayed healthy, he'd have been right in the MVP conversation. I think that might be the case this year if it stays the same. So vote for Desi.
Okay, Mr. Director.
Yeah,
that's it.
We're good.
Back to the field.
That's enough. Let's go talk about hitting. Just leaving us hanging there on camera, weren't they?
I know. Well, he says we're always complaining about not enough. Steven Strasburg, meanwhile, 89 pitches, 55 strikes, as he embarks on his 6th inning. Padres box RBI double by Chase Headley in the 3rd after Carlos Quentin was hit with a pitch, 2 outs. And then Hundley a 2-out walk in the 4th and an upper tank home run by Alexi Amarista.
Now, this may sound crazy. Steven Strasburg loves this run support in the offense. But I wonder if it's affected his rhythm on the mound, all these long waits in the dugout. Not that it's a bad thing, trust me.
Yeah.
Take 11 runs every single time you start. But we'll see how it affects his tempo. He's a guy that just gets into that groove, especially late in the game. See if he can get into one here.
Well, now Davey has the luxury. If he has one more long inning, he could get him out after 6. If Steven could come up with a quick inning, 7 innings, not out of the question, as he goes to his 90th pitch of the day, because at this stage of the game, he's usually pretty good, and when he gets ahead, forget it. That's an 0-1 pitch. Quick out. Jason Worth right there to grab the drive by Nick Hundley. Sunday, July 21st, 1:35 Dodgers. 2 weeks from today, first 10,000 kids 12 and under receive a kid's arm sleeve presented by the Potomac Nationals. Some restrictions apply while supplies last. Available only through the center field gates. Some of the tickets for that day start at just $10.
All right, I want one of those.
Said 12 and under.
It's perfect.
One of the most famous lines in Masson history. Promo years ago, Johnny Holiday. What are you guys, 12? He was going over baseball pronunciations. And a base hit. Amarista. 2 singles around that 2-run home run.
Wondering if he was in Bud Black's doghouse. Bud Black, we were in San Diego talking about how he loved the energy the little ninja gave to the lineup. And when your team is scuffling, you need energy. The first start of this series for Amarista, 3 for 3 with a homer. And yeah, I'm going to talk about little guys a lot. I like him.
Well,
he plays hard.
Came into the series hitting 242, and that was as high or higher than 4 guys in their lineup. Here's Pedro Siriaco, who came in on the double switch. Started the season with Boston, hit 216 in 28 games. They designated him for assignment and then traded him to the Padres. He's hit 246 for San Diego with 15 hits in 61 at-bats. They've had at least a hit in every inning. Oh, 2. Everybody wearing red would love a ground ball right at somebody. That's a breaking ball away, and on the appeal, no swing, says David Rackley. And the count's 1-2. Well, the Phillies have tacked on a couple more. It's the top of the 7th at Citizens Bank Park, and they lead the Braves 7-2.
That might have been a balk. Kind of started to reach up into his glove and step off at the same time. It's a good pitch.
Mercedes-Benz will track this one, lone away.
Pitch number 97, 96.
Wow, up and in, and that's the 3rd Padre hit by Steven Strasburg today.
He's had a couple of fastballs that he just kind of spun out of there. Got underneath and lost his release point. And look at the Exmo. You can tell the exact finger it hit from Siriaco. Left index finger. Yep, right there. We just saw it.
Steve McCaddy to the mound. Jordan Zimmerman threw 101 pitches in 5 1/3 late yesterday afternoon into the evening. Gio threw 110 pitches in 6 2/3 in the ball game on Friday night. So the big 3 have done quite well in the series, but for different reasons here and there. Some control, some of the Padres hitters fouling off numerous offerings. All 3 have had to work long and hard to get their outs and their innings in this series. 2 on 1 out, Everth Cabrera. That is right in there with 92.
Good trip by McCaddy going out there trying to keep his big right-hander focused. Pitch number 100 coming from Steven Strasburg. You talk to pitchers all the time. Sometimes it's harder to pitch with a lead and stay focused than when you have to bear down on every single pitch in a 1-run ball game. This is something I'm sure they'd all love to get used to.
Two and one. 15 pitches first inning, then 18, 21, 18, 17, and so far along top of the sixth. And the breaking ball misses, 3-2.
Now you can see the tempo's noticeably slowed down for Strasburg. Early in the game, he was going get it and throw it Jordan Zimmerman style. And now here, after 103 pitches on a hot day, this slowed things down big time.
Misses, bases loaded.
Jim Lett getting a call in the bullpen right now from Steve McCaddy. And we'll see who gets up and gets loose.
Strasburg's second walk of the day. He'll face Will Venable. That's the first time Everth Cabrera has been on base in this series after going 0 for 13.
Well, Jordan Zimmerman talked about it yesterday, how he kind of hit the wall in the heat. And I am thinking Steven Strasburg is feeling the same thing right here. Wilson Ramos going to go out to talk to Strasburg. Quinn Walcott caught the damage on that foul ball. And Greg Stammen getting loose in the Nats bullpen. But this game has come to a screeching halt pace-wise.
And now a count of 0-2 to Will Venable. Third base Amarista got the one out hit. Siriaco hit by a pitch. And then Everth Cabrera the walk. And a block by Ramos on a pitch that bounces.
Siriaco's having a tough series. Yesterday he came in for a pinch bunt and the bat hit him in the shin. Trainers came out, and today he gets hit by a pitch.
Way inside, 2-2.
I mean, if you're Strasburg right now, these are your runs. I mean, yeah, you've hit the wall. Yeah, you're scuffling a little bit. But we talked about his last start. He was his own closer, got out of a jam. And right now at 108 pitches, it's whatever you got left in the tank, because these are earned runs.
And a bouncing ball. Tyler Moore, a run will score, but the Nats will take that out. That's 2 down here in the sixth.
It's time for your Cholula Flamethrower Hot Sauce feature thing. It's the fifth inning. Let's go back and check out Steven Strasburg. 97 miles an hour. Way back in the fifth inning. And you look at the release point. The swing through strike. Perfectly painted 97 to Carlos Quentin. Cholula Hot Sauce, the hot sauce. With the iconic wooden cap, available in original flavor. Chili lime, chili garlic, and chipotle.
Front door with the breaking ball and a strike to Carlos Quentin. Working off the windup. Good idea with the bases loaded. Line drive badly needed to Ian Desmond. So if that's it for Steven, he battled his way through 6. Got a lot of run support. Nats by 7. I've got a lot more for you. The Nats, at least 3 more innings at the plate. They lead 11-4. Time to check out our Freight Rail Works do-ups in this series. Bryce Harper, 3 for 8. A ton of RBIs. And a couple of runs scored. Ryan Zimmerman, the grand slam today. Nats' second grand slam of the year, by the way. Ian Desmond had one in Philadelphia. And then Jason Worth, 5 for 9 with 3 runs.
And if you hadn't had enough baseball today, I was looking during the break. Manny Machado today at third base for the Orioles made one of the best plays I've ever seen, period, at third. Just turned 21 yesterday. He's an all-star and one of the best players we've seen all year, period.
Here's Bryce Harper, bottom of the 6th. Another inning for Tyson Ross. Kind of an odd inning. All 9 runs against Robbie Erlin earned, but the last 2 runs that scored in that 6th inning were unearned. Harper, another base hit. Bryce is 3 for 3 today. He'll make a big turn, so with a walk, he has a perfect day going.
Just look at him keeping that front side close. Down through the baseball, creating that backspin the other way. Foot off the ground. And how much have Nats fans missed that swing? I know I have.
Well, I told Bryce last week, don't watch any more games on TV this year. Let us watch you. Zimmerman, 1 for 2, grand slam, a walk, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. He's 0 for 1 career against Tyson Ross. Zimmerman, the last man to face Robbie Erlin in the last inning. And he'll hit one. They'll have to hurry to turn it, and slow roller, Bryce all over Siriaco. They'll settle for the 6-4.
Well, you know, he didn't slide, and I'm sure Davey Johnson is A-OK with that. Don't want to pound that knee any more than you have to.
Nats box. Watch, read, look, and enjoy. 2 hits Span, 2 hits Rendon, Strasburg an RBI, Harper a big day, and of course Zimmerman the grand slam. Jason Worth single, walk, he has scored twice. Batting average at .288. Fouled off his foot.
And you wonder if Davey starts to think about, as this thing gets into the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and maybe getting a Jason Worth off his feet and getting Bernardina in there, or Bryce, or whoever you want to give a couple innings rest to, or getting Lombardozzi a couple at-bats.
Yeah, it's a good call because this last week coming up before the break so important. Against the Phils with 4, the Marlins for 3. Just want guys to be fresh so that they're not staggering to the break a week from today.
Well, the one thing you don't want to get caught in, and we talk about this every year, is you're thinking too much about the All-Star break. Play right up to that last day. Know that you're going to have those 4 days off if you're not going to the game, and you play so hard that you enjoy those 4 days off, and you play well going into it. Yeah, I've been on teams that start to make those plans with the family for the All-Star break and maybe lose focus the last couple of games. We haven't seen it here, or I haven't seen it here since I've been here, but it's something a lot of ball clubs fight every year. is not playing as hard as you can up until that last out, and then you're on the All-Star break. Some people start to take that break maybe a game or two early.
Into the 4 o'clock hour we go here in the bottom of the 6th. Big day for the Nats. A run in the first, 6 in the third, 4 in the 5th, and leading the Padres 11-4. 11 runs on 10 hits. This homestand has seen very few stranded runners when the Nats have scored their runs. Worth will get jammed and pops it up on the infield for Everth Cabrera. That's 2 outs here in the 6th.
And just like we promised earlier in the game, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And on a hot day, a lot of fans enjoying a Miller Lite. With Anthony Rendon enjoying a big day, a home run. His second time up in the 3rd inning, a 2-run job into the bullpen. And last time up, that's a pretty swing, just going the other way. Taking what the game gives you, another RBI. So the mullet having a big day here on a Sunday afternoon. There's a lot of Nats players with the beard and the long hair. It's just not conducive to weather like this.
Yeah, they must be cooler than we think they are.
Bryce's beard, Jason, long hair, Anthony Rendon, the mullet and the kind of beard he's got going. But if you're hitting, you're not going to change.
On a pitch up, Rendon levels off, fouls it back.
You see how easy that swing was? There's not a whole lot to it. Almost like watching somebody in a driving range just practice their 3-wood. Nice and easy. Look at the balance, just standing there.
And that one dives down and away from it. The Nats leave a runner. They've only stranded 4 today while scoring 11, and it's on to the late innings.
Redskins over the Chargers. Zimmerman, 4th career grand slam. Harper, 3 for
The day off, he'll play right field. And on the double switch, Craig Stammen will take over. Stammen against Chase Headley, who goes up first pitch swinging, hits it a long way to center. Span going back. He'll have to play the carom, which hits at a funny angle and eludes him. And Chase Headley stops at second base. Chase Headley 3 for 4 today. And in this series, he's now 6 for 12.
Well, I think a very veteran play by Denard Span out in center field. 11-4 game. You're up by 7 runs. Don't run into the wall. I mean, if that's a tie ball game, he makes a bid for that ball that hit the bottom of the fence in center field. But knowing he's up by 7, plays it nicely off the wall and gives up the leadoff double. It's a veteran move.
Next up will be Jesus Guzman with the pitcher's spot on deck. Zimmerman, backhand, stops, plants, throws, on target. And then the base running read by Chase Headley. Nats will trade 90 feet for a lot of outs for the rest of this afternoon.
That's a throw that earlier in the season gave Ryan Zimmerman a lot of trouble from an arm strength standpoint. But watch him go way behind the base, stand up, plant, and make a strong throw right across the diamond on the money to Tyler Moore. The throws have been good for Ryan. Nice play.
Chris Denorfia will be the pinch hitter for Tyson Ross, who pitched 2 innings, gave up a couple of unearned runs. Denorfia started first 2 games of the series, went 3 for 4 with 2 runs Friday night, and then 0 for 4 yesterday. Stammen throws him a strike.
Dale Thayer getting hot for the Padres.
Yeah, it was interesting. Thayer warmed up. Then they got Nick Vincent up, and then he sat down, and Thayer came back. Out to short. That'll be an RBI ground ball. Ian Desmond. And it can't be picked by Tyler Moore. And they'll probably give Desmond the error for the low, wide throw. RBI, though, for Denorfia. And it'll be 1-on-1 out. The score now 11-5.
Yeah, it's going to the backhand side. Got the high chopper. Took his time. Plants throws. Just got on top of that ball a little bit too much. And Tyler Moore on the backside tries to pick it to the backhand. And it just hits him in the heel.
It's Ian Desmond's 10th error of the year. Only his 3rd since April. Nick Hundley will be next. He hits one hard, and Desmond able to get a piece of the glove on it. Heading for third base is Denorfia. It'll be 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Craig Stammen faced 3 San Diego hitters Friday night and gave up 2 runs. And they've hit a couple of sharp balls here.
Yeah, look at Desmond trying to climb the ladder, get up, but he just nicks the ball with his glove, slows it down enough for Denorfia, who plays the game the same way, whether it's 1-1 or 11-5, hustling all the way into third base and just can't get high enough. Boy, Exmo's something, isn't it?
That vertical leap is something by our shortstop. Wow. Amarista 3 for 3 today. 2 singles and a 2-run homer in between. Ground ball. They'll have to hurry for 2. Desmond. And no chance at first. Amarista too quick. Another run scores. It's 11-6. you can win a hitting lesson with Ryan Zimmerman. Join Masson's Touch 'em All rewards for your chance to win the grand prize. Go to massonsports.com and sign up starting tomorrow.
He will teach you how to hit a grand slam. I'll say this about Bud Black's ball club. They've lost 8 in a row and down by 5 here with 7 outs to go. But they have fought this whole series.
Yeah, they got tough at bats.
They got guys that try hard. Maybe not the most talent in the world when you look at other ball clubs around the league, but he's got them playing the game the right way, and they play hard.
Well, look at the rest of that division. I mean, Colorado, Cargo, Tulowitzki, Helton, long time there. Dodgers, star-studded lineup. Posey and his buddies in San Francisco. Arizona, similar to Colorado, or rather to San Diego, and they don't have big superstar names. And they battle.
Well, it's easy to cash her in when you've lost 8 in a row and you're down by, 6, 7, 8 runs in a ball game, and just go up there and have bad at-bats and think about getting on that plane and getting back to San Diego. And yesterday they fought. Today they're doing the same thing.
No balls and 2 strikes to Pedro Siriaco, hit by a pitch last time up. Stammen, good job of jamming him. Zimmerman to Moore, and the top of the 7th is over. Padres pick up 2 runs, 1 unearned, and the 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. $4 million. Well, it's a beautiful day on the banks of the Anacostia, right down from the Navy Yard. The Nats lead 11-6, and it's on to Philadelphia, where last time the Nats shut down the Fanatic and his vehicle, Ian Desmond hit a grand slam, but now Dan Herron's going to be back in the rotation. His last start June 22nd against Colorado, and the Nats will be facing John Lannon, who's 1-3 with a 5.15 ERA. Coverage begins at 6:30, Nats Extra. Tomorrow night we'll join you from the booth at Citizens Bank Park at 7 o'clock. This moment in history brought to you by Volkswagen. Sign Then Drive event going on now. You can drive away for practically just your signature. And it was against the Padres back in 2010 on this date when Adam Dunn would go deep 3 times. It would be his 18th in the first inning with 2 men aboard.
That is a large human being.
Yeah, left-hander to the red seats. 3rd inning leading off. his 19th of the year.
And those are balls most guys hit to shortstop.
And then he led off the 8th inning. So he had 5 RBIs, and he led off 2 innings in that game. And Adam Dunn led the Nats to a 7-6 win over the Padres on July 7, 2010. Here's Dale Thayer, who comes on for the Padres. And for Thayer, it'll be his second appearance of the series. He pitched a scoreless inning on Friday with 1 hit and 1 strikeout.
We're going to have the high notes getting a little bit louder and a little bit higher on Take On Me as the Nats play better.
How can it get higher?
Just getting louder, man. I like it.
Kristen Orpheus stays into play right field. Will Venable goes back to center field.
I'm lost. This is like a spring training game.
And Emarista goes back to second.
All right.
So you got 2 guys who are back at their original positions. And I'm looking at my scorebook, and it looks like March 7th, not July 7th.
Listen.
It's all right.
I think it's hard to get your heart into the high note on that song in the 7th inning if your ball club's not playing well. Makes sense, right? You're happy, your team's playing good. Scream. It was never louder than it was in the playoffs last year.
Curveball, sidearm from Thayer. Tyler Moore leads off, bottom of the 7th. He's 0 for 3. One ball and 2 strikes. And Tyler Moore has a fastball by him. Kinetic North America will track it.
Yeah, challenge 94. Right down the middle, kind of pulled off of that a little bit for strike 3.
So it'll be Wilson Ramos with Roger Bernardina after him here in the bottom of the 7th. Ramos, fair ball. That'll squirt down into the deep corner. Denorfia charged it. Then he had to make a left turn, and Wilson Ramos isn't going to do anything in an 11-6 game that he doesn't need to do, and he'll just cruise into second with a 1-for-4 day and a double. And in this series now, Wilson Ramos is 3 for 7.
Oh, this is a nice piece of hit. You saw the foul balls down the right field line last time up for Wilson, but look at the hip slide right there. Hands through the strike zone, just gets inside the foul line. And, you know, we're talking about the health of Wilson Ramos and the hamstring. And right about here, it becomes a stampede. It's hard to stop a Buffalo coming around first.
1-on-1 out. Here's Bernardina. Talked to Wilson briefly this morning. He said he doesn't know Yasmani Grandal, and he was feeling for him watching him out on the field yesterday. And when he heard that he had a sprained knee, he said, "Oh, not good for a catcher. Nothing knee related. Good for a catcher."
I'm sure that's the last subject he wants to talk about. And all the injuries he's been through, how hard he's worked to get back to the major leagues this year, and then to have that hamstring go a couple of times. On top of all he's been through in his home country, he's just an easy guy to root for.
Upstairs with a fastball, 2 outs. Well, it might be a family reunion. It might be a big birthday party, a company outing. The bigger the group, the bigger the savings, and the greater the fun here at the ballpark. So bring them out for a Nationals home game. To find out more about great group opportunities, nationals.com/groups.
What if your group is like 30,000 people? Be a lot of savings, wouldn't it?
Pretty good discount,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to talk to some season ticket holders about availability.
Yeah, it's probably a little big for my group.
Two and 0.
It's kind of like how Denard Span is in that crouch, kind of right in there with the pitch, not standing upright like he was a couple of weeks ago, but it's kind of right down in there with the baseball. And you see the results in the series, 545.
Three and 0. Elliot Desmond hitless today, but he has walked and scored, and that walk a big key to the 6-run third inning. And Denard Span's aboard, 2 on, 2 out. Today's copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals Baseball Club and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Ian Desmond looking for his first knock of the day. Walked and scored a run in the third, 0 for 3.
Counts even, 1-1.
Yeah, vote for Desi. Let's go. You're sitting at home. Get on the computer, vote for him.
So that's 4 o'clock Thursday. That voting ends.
I go back to my initial point today. I feel like if you were an all-star last year, that should carry some weight into this year if you're having another good season backing up last year's campaign. Does everybody like to watch Yasiel Puig play? Absolutely. He plays the game right. He's fantastic for baseball. But if you were an all-star last year, that should hold some weight if you're on that ballot for this year.
Fastball is upstairs, 3-2. Runners will be on the move here with 2 outs. Kinetic, North America. Boy, how many pitches has Quinn Wolcott had to call today? Runners moving on a 3-2, and Desmond takes another walk. His third of this series. Hey, keep pitching him carefully and let Bryce Harper drive in runs. Lineup working well together. Bases loaded situation again with the previous Grand Slammer, Zimmerman, on deck. Of course, Ian's already had one. That was the big game winner up in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you know Bryce is thinking it. You got 3 hits in a day. You've been on base 4 times. Done pretty much everything you can do. You're nice and relaxed up there, and you're trying to put a hurting on this baseball. Yep.
Crowd wants some more runs. They're clapping in unison. Bryce Harper is 0 for 1 career against Dale Thayer. That's way inside. Counts even, 1-1. They've gone into the bottom of the 8th in Philadelphia. Phillies 7, Braves 3.
You got a pitch.
It's another bunch of base runners. Ramos doubled. Span walked. Desmond walked. So Denard on 3 times today. Desmond twice. Harper 4 times. Up and down the lineup.
And these are at-bats where, as a ball player, you got to be greedy. There's going to be nights when you got a guy out there that's darn near unhittable. You're going to go through those spells where, as a ball club, you're not swinging it. But when you have a game like today, every single at-bat counts. And this is where, as a hitter, you got to be greedy.
That'll stand Bryce up. Not that far inside, but way up there, and the count's 2-2.
Now he's diving out there to cover the outside pitch.
Harper to left center. And on a ball moving away from him, Will Venable runs it down. The Nats strand 3. They've left 7 today. Into the 8th inning now. Ahead by 5. The Nats have out hit the Padres 11-9. Still 6 outs to get. Tune in for the 2013 MLB All-Star Game on Fox Tuesday, July 16th. See the most passionate players in the game as they compete in this year's Midsummer Classic.
All right, I'm watching.
I'm hooked.
I'm all about the passion.
Greg Stammen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters. Man, things happen quickly. When Craig's on the mound, that's up the middle. Nothing Rendon can do. And Everth Cabrera's first base hit in this series in the 8th inning on Sunday.
I can't wait for the home run derby that takes 7 hours. I can't wait for that.
Now that's passion.
I mean, it's becoming a marathon.
Last guy able to swing a bat.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
I shaved twice during last year's home run derby.
Will Venable 0 for 4, RBI ground ball. the play left side. Good crowd today, 31,483. On a very hot day. A lot of them have moved to the shaded area left side.
Yeah, stadium's lopsided again.
1 ball, 1 strike. Stammen, nicely done to the outside corner with a late breaker. Nissan will track it.
80 miles an hour right here from Stammen. The curveball gets the call on the outside corner.
That bouncer, Tyler Moore to Stammen, safe. Tyler went and got it. Rendon probably would have been able to get to that ball. And the speed of Will Venable stealing an infield hit. 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, fighting Friars aren't going away. And Craig Stammen's got to get over there. You see the little hesitation? That's all it takes with anybody with wheels. So kind of a false step hesitation move allows Will Venable to get an infield single. First and second, nobody out here in the 8th.
Big hitters coming up. Quentin, Headley, Guzman, all guys with power. And Drew Storn is up and throwing. Just looking ahead a little bit. When you score 11 runs, you sure would like to give your closer a day off. And Soriano has pitched in the last 3 games, saving 2. Came into one with a 4-run lead. Actually, he saved all 3 because one of the leads kind of disappeared. He had to come in and settle things down. 2 balls, 1 strike. That's ball 3. Chase Headley, 3 hits today, 2 doubles and RBI. Craig Stammen at times has had a good hard hook today.
That's a good call by Wilson Ramos. Go with a 3-1 slider right there. You just want to lay in a fastball and make this 11-9 game. Quentin with the most pop on the Padres. And that'll get you thinking about the 3-2 selection.
And a flare to left. Dropping, landing in front of Bryce Harper. Runner coming home. Strong throw and safe as Ramos couldn't quite hold on. It's now 11-7. That was quite a read by Everth Cabrera.
Yeah, a bold read with nobody out, down by 5 runs.
Not too many left fielders make this play close.
I know Cabrera with a good read at second base. Bryce Harper makes this close at home. Good throw, right on the money. Ramos can't hang on. The in-between hop. That would have been some kind of play if he made it. And that's all for Craig Stammen. And this one a lot closer than Davey Johnson would like it all of a sudden.
Craig Stammen pitches 1+ inning and gives up 5 hits. Padres keep battling. Nats looking for somebody who can get some consecutive outs. They've been hard to come by today. And it'll be Drew Storen who was outstanding here last night. Game. The Nats still have to get 6 more outs on these Padres. And this is an 11-7 game with 2 men on, nobody out. And Drew Storen about to face Chase Headley. Drew was fantastic last night in the 8th inning. Quentin, Headley, Guzman, and one of those was the strikeouts. 5 pitches, 5 strikes.
And more aggressive with the fastball yesterday. Going right after Padres hitters. Davey Johnson said something to the effect that he threw too many sliders and changeups in his previous outing. So we'll see what he does here with the fastball. You'd think he'd be aggressive, but it's all about location with Drew Storen and strike one.
Headley 1 for 2 against him. Slider low. Goes with the fastball. It was a good one last night. Well, 2 very important stats for a reliever. First batters retired and runners stranded. Although these days a lot more relievers come in to start innings than they used to. Not today. 1-1 pitch. Got that slider way in on Headley's hands.
Yeah, I think the Padres were 1 for 14 yesterday with runners in scoring position. Today 1 for 9. Drew Storen looking for a strikeout here and a 1-2 counter, a ground ball.
Went with his changeup.
In this situation, when you have a lead, it's about being aggressive. It's more of a mindset than anything else. It's going after hitters, throwing your best stuff, and seeing if they can hit it.
Change up for the strikeout. Chase Headley probably thinking along with you that I gotta see a heater here. And Drew Storen throws one of his best off-speed pitches of the year.
Yeah, does a nice job pulling the string right here. You see the grip, the release point, and how far out in front Headley is. Good pitch.
Huge out. Guzman next. Ended up being a one-handed swing by Guzman, who's hit 5 home runs, driven in 18. He's 1 for 4 today, 5 for 12 in this series. Quite a pick by Ramos on the backhand side.
Well, he saw something from Drew Storen he didn't see the other night. He checked the runner a couple of times, varying his looks, his tempo, with some speed out there at second base.
Left-hander Ian Kroll. And a ball to center for Denard Span. It'll back him up some. Venable didn't make any move to tag up, and I don't think he had a chance to. So 2 big outs for Drew now. Mid-Atlantic Sports Report returns tomorrow, 5 to 6:30. Keith Mills, Dave Johnson, Mel Anton, and Phil Wood recapping this weekend series and looking ahead to the Phillies. The Mid-Atlantic Sports Report, Monday, 6:30 on Masson. One more tough hitter to get, and that's Chris Denorfia. Oh, high slider, maybe a little backup action there for a strike.
Yeah, got the call.
Chris Denorfia 1 for 4 career against Drew Storen.
Well, Davey Johnson's point the other day about Drew Storen throwing so many off-speed pitches that it's tough to hang 95, 96. And it's true. That's why you want power guys at the back end of your bullpen.
There's a good running fastball, and you've talked about this many times late in the ball game. Not that Denorfia's a huge power guy, but you make guys beat you the other way. So he has him 1 and 2. He has seen 1 fastball, and he was late for it. So where does the at-bat go from here?
I say bring him the heat, but let's see what he does.
Yeah, 94. Comes with a fastball again. That one has some swing back to it. 95.
Yeah, going right after with the heat. And that a dude got a ball today. It's a good day. Yeah, kick your feet up. You got a souvenir.
Nothing but fastballs, and Denorfia stays alive. Top of the 8th inning, a run has scored. Nationals lead the Padres by 4. That'll be ball 2 on a pitch well outside. So Nick Hundley waiting. And Storn goes with the slider, but Denorfia able to extend to foul it off.
Yeah, Denorfia giving Drew Storn a fight right here, fouling off everything he's got. I don't know if he's seen a changeup yet in this sequence, but he's seen a lot of fastballs, a couple of sliders. Sticking his nose in there fighting. Drew Storn trying to win the battle.
And that slider is high, 3-2. Now the runners will be moving.
Well, this is where if you're Denorfia and you're hitting, you're just betting fastball. If you throw me anything else, you got me. You're up by 4 runs. Runners are going 3-2, 2 outs. I'll look silly on a changeup. I'll look silly on a slider, but I am on your fastball.
And Storn throws him a fastball. Desmond backhand on the run, on target.
Nice play.
Big time play by an all-star caliber shortstop. And the Padres settle for 1. Here comes Ryan Zimmerman to lead off.
That's up 11-7, going to the bottom of the 8th. And Bryce Harper 3 for 4. Ryan Zimmerman 4th career grand slam. It's time for your Hyundai drive of the game. New thinking, new possibilities. And Ryan Zimmerman with a big blow today. Opposite field home run. Got a fastball right down the middle. Let it get deep. Some serious backspin in the right center field gap. High fives everywhere. Got the helmet taken off. Not in the dugout, but in the on-deck circle. And that is your Hyundai drive of the game.
Yeah, Desmond's had to adjust his removal of the helmet based on the lineup. Different spot. He's going to be scoring more in the number 2 hole. So here's Ryan Zimmerman. Grand slam and a walk. Total of 2 runs scored and 4 driven in. He's added a stolen base. And then the pitcher spot is next. Zimmerman, Tracy, and Rendon. Bottom 8 against right-hander Nick Vincent, who had a rough ride here. Just last night, he struck out Roger Bernardina and then gave up hits to Span and Desmond prior to the Harper and Zimmerman RBIs that nailed down that 5-4 win.
I told you about Vincent yesterday. Loves the cutter, throws it almost 70% of the time. Chad Tracy on deck. It kind of sets up nice for right-handers more than left-handers. He was backdooring it to lefties yesterday. And especially with Ryan Zimmerman, he's got that opposite field stroke going. That cutter suits him nice.
Well, Tyler Clippard for the 9th. So Davey still has a chance to give Soriano the day off, but he probably would have liked giving Clippard a day off as well. Whatever you got to do to nail this thing down. And a swing and a foul tip, and Ryan Zimmerman strikes out. First out, bottom 8. Here comes Chad Tracy, who's had one at bat in this series as a pinch hitter.
Well, the Braves lost to the Phillies.
Yeah, it's a 7-3 final. Atlanta put a couple of guys on base in the 9th, but now the Phillies take 2 out of 3 from the Braves.
Well, you hold on here, it's down to 4. The smallest since May 20th. Big 3 outs to get.
Yeah, the Nats were 6.5 back when this homestand started. They split with the Brewers and a chance to sweep the Padres to make it a 5-2 week. Upstairs to Chad Tracy, and the count's 2-1.
It's so hard as a left-handed hitter when you have a guy that throws that cutter back door. You almost have to make yourself swing on something that's outside, but it looks like they're setting up in right here.
Busted bat. Guzman back to get it, and 2 quick outs for Nick Vincent here in the bottom of the 8th. Padres, by the way, their due-ups are 7, 8, and 9. Hundley, Amarista, and then the pitcher spot. So it's Dan Herron making his return to replace Russ Detweiler, who went on the DL, and John Lannon, who pitched pretty well, got a no decision against the Nats last time up for the Phils. Nats extra, 6:30.
Well, you're just hoping with Dan Herron that A, he's healthy, but B, the time off allowed him maybe to regroup a little bit mentally and to figure some things out. You keep getting caught in that every fifth day. Now you take a step back, hopefully look at the game a little differently and realize the adjustments you have to make.
There's that ball cutting away from Rendon. Anthony's had a good day. 2 for 4, the 2-run homer in the 3rd, right after the grand slam, and then a big RBI single in the 5th, part of a 4-run inning.
And while you're not happy that Ross Detweiler's on the DL, for me, I'm happy that Taylor Jordan gets to stay in the big leagues. I'd like to watch him pitch.
And that fastball running up into the zone. The count's 3-1. Tyler Moore waiting in case the 8th inning extends to the number 7 spot. Rendon, strike 2.
He's got direct hits on both kneecaps today. He got one on the left knee and now that one on the right knee.
Well, as if things aren't tough enough for these catchers out there all day in a hot afternoon like this.
Yeah, first one was on the left knee, and this one just off the end of the bat on the right knee.
Rendon can't catch up with a fastball. Here we go to the top of the 9th. Tyler Clippard pitched on Friday night. He'll try to nail this one down. And good work again by Drew Storen to get it to this point. So in a non-save situation, Tyler Clippard will make his second appearance of this series. He came on in the 8th inning on Friday night, struck out 2. He got blanks, Forsythe, and Guzman. He could see Forsythe here when they get down to the number 9 spot.
And his numbers to me, even though he's not a closer and you usually don't take setup guys and all that stuff for an all-star game, when you look at the average against, the ERA, the record, I feel like Tyler Clippard might have been the odd man out when you talk about an all-star selection. He has had a wonderful first half of the season and is definitely the MVP of the Nats bullpen.
No doubt about it. Along with Soriano with those 24 saves.
Look at the pitches. Do the math, Carp. I have no clue. I can't do that.
What, 339?
3, carrier 1, 339. Just a few.
Every one of them called by Quinn Wolcott. I don't think he's got enough left to rip the pages. So here we go. Nick Hundley leads off. And against Tyler Clippard, career Hundley is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. High fastball, getting a strike.
Tyler Clippard's been getting it done with the heater this year. He's thrown it more than he did last year. The percentage of changeups thrown from Clippard down this year. Far more confidence in the fastball and just going right after guys.
There's the changeup. And when he throws that thing 78, it seems like it takes forever. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
And just pulling the string on the Bugs Bunny changeup, 78 miles an hour. And it's such a weapon. I mean, it's a weapon if he threw 89. Well, you talk about 94 to that.
Nats trying to make it 4 games over 500 and 4 back of Atlanta. And Clippard throws an 0-2 changeup taken by Hundley. Number 8 man is Alexi Amarista, who's had 4 good at bats today. Driving in 3 runs. Got him on a changeup away as Hundley went reaching, 1 out.
Now, usually that changeup from Clippard has a little bit of fade to it. This one, you see the release point and the grip on it. And I want to say it cut a little bit. And I think it may have. You see how Wilson Ramos is catching the changeup. So a cut changeup for strike 3. I don't think I've ever said that before. I don't even know if there is one.
Here's Alexi Amarista, who singled and homered, driven in a run with a ground ball. Facing Tyler Clippard for the first time. That's a well-placed fastball at 91. So the Mets and the Marlins have wrapped up their action today. Right now, the Nats could click that down to 4. And the 0-2 out of play.
I like Amarista, just watching him play. He has no idea that he's 5'6". None whatsoever. Doesn't get cheated up there. 3 hits today, a home run.
So he's now the Jose Altuve of the National League, with that little guy over in the AL.
Yeah, he plays like he's 6'6".
That's at the belt for a 6'6" guy. And the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the 9th. Nats Extra, presented by PNC, coming up when we say it's coming up. I just say that because Johnny and Ray are right behind us up here. Post-game concert, they're going to handle it from our booth. And a 1-2 pitch is a fastball. Left field side, Bryce Harper eyeing it. And just no chance to get there in time.
And Ryan's going to grab something that fell out of the stands, give it back to the fan. Or is that Adam LaRoche?
Marcotte on deck here with 1 out in the 9th. Clippard pulls out the breaking ball, and it's flied to right. Long way for Bernardina. Rogers there. 2 outs. Marcotte is a dangerous hitter, but he's been struggling lately. Final hope for the Padres. They still need a bunch of base runners. And he faces Tyler Clippard. He's 2 for 4 career against Tyler with a pair of doubles. .79 Tyler Sharp today. Been a long day for this crowd. Hoping to cheer the Nats on to their 46th win of the year. And Clippard goes fastball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A good take by Kotsay. Right now for them, walks as good as a hit. Top of the order on deck. Clippard will put an end to this one. And the Nets win it 11-7. Davies Ball Club, 4 back of Atlanta, 4 over 500, and win number 5 for Steven Strasburg.
56 runs in their last 8 games. The offense is heating up, and objects in the rearview mirror closer than they appear. Nats 4 back. Game on.
Final words from Nationals Park in a moment as they sweep San Diego, and it's a 5-2 homestand.